Is Christianity the white man's religion? Should black people return to their true religion? If you say yes, then what exactly is our true religion? Some will tell you it's Islam. Why? Well, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, the great and venerable Louis Farrakhan. Duh. Oh, and Andrew Tate. Okay, scratch Andrew Tate. Is he black, white, Turk? Whatever he is, he's a straight weirdo, man. Anyways, obviously, Islam is the way. I mean, wasn't Christianity the white man's trick to make Africans passive while they stole our land and resources? Whereas Islam is militant. Don't take no wish from nobody. Certainly not from black folks. Long before the transatlantic slave trade, Muslim Arab invaders of Africa were notorious for capturing and displacing blacks across the north, east and west of Africa to sell across the ever-growing Islamic world. And even till today, some of the worst modern-day slavery is in Muslim-majority nations like Mauritania in Africa, where enslavement of the indigenous black population was only made illegal in the 1980s. The 1980s. Okay, so Islam has its issues. So what about Judaism? Some say blacks are the original Jews, and while that might sound weird, there is some truth to the idea that there were black-skinned members of the Hebrew nation before Jews were scattered across the world sometime 2,000 years ago. But here at True Black, we're not entirely sold on the idea that blacks everywhere are the original Jews. So let's leave Judaism to one side for now. That brings us to traditionalism. Now we're getting somewhere, right? This is currently the most popular view we see and hear on social media, and it's gaining more and more traction every day. Some say we have to go back to our ancestral roots and worship the ancestors or the elemental gods if we're to be true to the black identity. But say you choose this over Christianity, you can't escape the fact that under the traditional religions an unimaginable amount of pain was needlessly caused. Read Chinua Achebe's African epic, Things Fall Apart, and it's clear that the pagan belief systems depicted in that book were far from legit. And Achebe was very partial to the whole traditional religion thing now. But hey, facts are facts. Spoiler alert. I mean, Okonkwo, the book's main character, had to offer up a little boy he had adopted as a human sacrifice, just because the quote-unquote ancestors demanded it. And this wasn't as uncommon as some today might want you to believe. In the deep south of Nigeria, a lot of kingdoms used to kill infant twins because they believed they were cursed by the gods. Point is, there was a reason why Christianity seemed like a breath of fresh air to a lot of Africans at first, and still is the preferred choice among the diaspora today. Besides, whatever else you think of it, Christianity isn't actually the white man's religion.
Say what?
Yep, yes. Christianity was on the African continent before it was preached in Rome or Athens. Follow me now. This is the Cathedral of the Holy Trinity Church in Ethiopia, the base of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, the largest of the Oriental Orthodox churches, and it was started long before European domination of Africa. Let me repeat that. An Ethiopian church started before European missionaries ever set foot in Africa is the largest of the Orthodox churches across places including India, the Middle East, North Africa, and Southeastern Europe. How did Christianity find its way to Africa before whites brought it and even before it reached Mediterranean Europe? Many members of this church believe the story goes back to a very mysterious man in the Bible. We're never told his name, but his story reads something like this. Jesus had just risen from the dead and returned back to heaven. His disciples are currently dispersed across Palestine, but no further. That's important. Across Palestine, but no further. One of them is a man named Philip, who an angel tells in a vision to go to a desert road that leads from Jerusalem to Gaza. So like a true devotee, he obeys. On this road, he meets a foreigner, but not just any foreigner. He meets a court official from Ethiopia. What kind of court? The Queen's Court, the Kandaki. Yo, but True Black, isn't that pronounced Candace? Shut your mouth before I slap the taste up. Nope, not Candace. That's the anglicized, sort of bastardized version of an ancient African word, properly pronounced Kandaki. This was what the Ethiopians called their queens. A Kandaki was usually the highest placed woman of royal blood in Ethiopia, usually the queen mother and sometimes the queen full stop. And the man Philip met was none other than the Queen's treasurer, the frigging bagman for the entire kingdom. And boy did Philip know it. The Bible says the guy was traveling with a full chariot and probably a caravan to boot. What was the Ethiopian doing in Israel at that time? Well, the Bible says he had come to worship, which means he was a Jewish convert on a pilgrimage, kind of like a Muslim going to Mecca. So what does Philip do? He goes and stalks the passing caravan, specifically the chariot carrying the Ethiopian. Philip notices he's reading from a scroll and somehow works out he's reading a passage from the Jewish Torah containing a prophecy about the Messiah. So Philip asks him whether he understands what he's reading, and the Ethiopian noble effectively says, well, duh, no, how can I unless someone explains it? Philip explains that the prophecy is about Jesus, who has come to the earth and, wouldn't you know it, did everything in that prophecy that you're reading, my guy. For whatever reason, the black guy from Ethiopia is stunned by Philip's words and literally begs him, saying, bro, we're coming across a stream right now, baptize me. Philip is like, what? Huh? Ethiopian is like, now. Philip, probably shocked at the easiest convert he's ever made, says, oh shoot, okay me lord, let's do it. And he does his thing.
I baptize you in the name of Jesus. Lord. Have your way, Lord. Have your way, Lord.
And then poof, disappears. Literally, the Bible says Philip disappears. Now, this noble from the Kandaki's court in Ethiopia is believed by many in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church to be the person who returned to Africa, specifically Ethiopia, and brought back with him the Christian message. The Ethiopian Church believes the Kandaki who the Ethiopian served under was Queen Hendake II, who ruled for a decade between 42 to 52 AD. And there you have it. Long before the likes of David Livingstone and Mary Slessor, a mysterious African noble whose name we don't even know is recorded as having been one of the first converts to Christianity ever, and who subsequently brought Christianity back to Africa. No chains, no slavery, no forced indoctrination, just a willing participant who very likely went back and gossiped the story of his conversion back to an at first bewildered Africa. Now you have to bear in mind this one thing, and a lot of you lovely people out there have been keen to point this out to me in past videos. The Ethiopia known to the ancient world was far larger than what we now know today as the nation of Ethiopia, encompassing large parts of modern-day Sudan and possibly even stretching into modern-day Kenya. Fast forward to a time when borders have shifted slightly, and as early as the 4th century AD, Christianity had been made the official religion of the Ethiopian Empire of Aksum. That's comfortably a couple hundred years before the English king Ethelbert of Kent in 597 AD converted to Christianity and put England on the official Christian map. So the idea that Christianity was forced on all of us by outsiders is not true at all. It might not have spread far and wide all over Africa, but as explained in one of our previous videos, Africa is huge, fitting easily the whole of the USA, China and Europe with plenty of room left over. So we're comparing apples and oranges to say, well, it didn't spread all over Africa. So I hope you can see how that would have been a monumental task for 1st century logistics. Anyway, out of the rich history of Christianity in Eastern Africa would come some of the greatest saints in church history, men like die-hard Egyptian-born Roman soldier Saint Maurice, and a gang robber turned Christian Saint Moses the Black. What a name! Okay, these guys deserve their own videos. If you think so too, please. That's my Nigerianness coming out. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if this reaches 1,000 likes in a week, we'll owe you guys a video on either Saint Moses the Black or Saint Maurice the Egyptian. Also guys, let us know in the comments which of these two characters interests you the most, as I can be quite indecisive at times. Anyways, that's it for this video guys. As always, stay repping, no doubt.